Hi, I'm Hailey. Welcome to my channel. I call this video Developing Your Art Style because believe it or not, you already have one. Even if you're an absolute beginner, your art is unique to you. Art style is the personality of your art. It's how your art reflects everything that makes you unique. Your art style is the culmination of your influences, experiences, preferences, personality, creative choices, and skills. Today, I want to talk about being intentional about developing your art style and cultivating the style you already have based on where you want to be. I have always loved drawing and painting, but I started taking my art more seriously about 3 years ago. Being intentional about developing my unique style as an artist has helped me to find so much artistic growth and has helped me to understand how much growth is ahead of me as well. I personally keep an art journal, and I use this to keep track of a lot of the information I talk about here, as well as to track my artistic ideas, goals, and growth. I think a great place to start is to ask yourself, what inspires you to make art? Do you love watching cartoons, reading fantasy novels? Do you love animals, architecture, history, science? What are your favorite subjects to draw and paint? There is no wrong answer. Do the things you love and think about how this can contribute to your art. Start collecting reference photos of things that you love and that you want to incorporate in your work. Study art. Go to museums, read art books, watch movies, take photos, take in classic art, modern art, and everything in between. Most art museums have free virtual tours, and this is a great resource to explore for free. Take in as much art as you can, because the more art you consume, the better you will understand yourself as an artist and also where you want to be as an artist. Make notes about what qualities and techniques you want to transfer into your own art style. You can do master copies and studies to help you learn techniques. Look at your art. This is where everything starts to come together. Look at your art and think about any hints of style that are unique to you that are already present in your art. This can be recurring subjects, color palette, techniques. Every little creative choice you make contributes to your style. Think about how you can develop your current style and incorporate the elements of style that you have observed from professional and classic artists to grow your style more intentionally. The more you understand yourself as an artist, what inspires you, and your goals as an artist, the more you can lean into the things that make you unique and contribute to your style. Understanding this will help you start practicing art in a way that will develop your style in the direction that you want to grow. Start where you are. It is okay to be a beginner or intermediate artist. Starting where you are and intentionally developing from that point will help you so much as an artist. Be open to taking a step back and objectively critiquing your own art. Don't be hard on yourself, but step back and think, what do I wish I could improve about this piece? What areas do I need to work on to move in the direction of where I want to be? What stylistic choices do I wish I had made differently? Your style and your skills as an artist develop together. The best thing you can do to develop both of these areas is make art. Do small sketches, studies, paintings, learn to study references, brush up on fundamentals, set aside time to develop the skills and techniques you need to reach your goals. With something that is so tactile and hands-on, actually getting your hands dirty and making the art is the best thing you can do for yourself. The more art that you make, the more you will begin to recognize and develop elements of unique style in your art. Practice the style you want to achieve. If you want to paint in a more impressionist style, maybe you could set a goal to do some impressionist master copies, or watch some tutorials from some modern impressionist painters to develop this style. Practice the techniques that you know that you'll need to create these types of paintings and incorporate it in your sketchbook, where the stakes are low and it's okay to mess up. Just practice. Practice what it is that you want to do as an artist and with your style, and you'll see it developing in your own way. The art of simplification. I don't hear this mentioned very often, but I think this is one of the most major contributions to your unique style. The decisions you make when simplifying a subject and rendering it is going to be completely unique to you. The level of detail you include, how you interpret shapes and colors, how you choose to compose your piece and frame your subject, what information you choose to include and leave out, all of this is completely unique to you. I think if everyone painted a cat, even if it was the same reference of a cat, that is going to look different between almost everyone. And I think keeping in mind what you choose to include, what information that you deem important when you're looking at a reference. I think that's such a big part of your style, and this is something that you can be more intentional about and decide what level of detail, what amount of information you want to include and leave out. Maybe you're going for a more simplistic and illustrative style, and you're stylizing a lot of the elements like the eyes and ears um, of an animal to make them more caricature like. Or maybe you want to go for hyperrealism. You want to include everything and then even add detail. There are so many different ways that you can do this. There's no wrong way. You're just deciding what your style is going to be. Be open to trying new things, especially when you're trying to develop your style and growing into your identity as an artist. Willingness to experiment with different subjects and mediums can teach you a lot about yourself as an artist. You may even find a new favorite subject or medium that you did not expect. I think it's important to remember not to put yourself in a box. Even if your style is quite developed, if you're, say, primarily an oil painting artist, that doesn't mean you can't try watercolors and, see what it's all about, or use it as a medium for when you don't feel like doing the oil painting, maybe just kind of a creative break, you know? Um, I still try new mediums all the time. Whenever I see something new, I think, oh, I want to try that. And it's really, really satisfying as an artist to, learn the ins and outs of a new medium, and sometimes you really like it. Be open to trying new things, especially when you're trying to develop your style and grow into your identity as an artist. A willingness to experiment with different subjects and mediums can teach you a lot about yourself as an artist. You may even find a new favorite subject or medium that you did not expect. The medium I have been working the longest with is watercolor, and I tried gouache and I did not like it. I was not a fan of gouache. I thought, okay, gouache is similar to watercolor, but it is not for me. And I had a couple of just really terribly failed paintings with gouache and did not use gouache again for like 6 months. And then finally I decided, I'm going to try picking up gouache again. And I'm so glad I did, because it is one of my favorite and most used mediums right now. So giving mediums and subjects that you struggle with a second chance, and if you're dedicated to using them or painting them, it's also worth it to just give them the time of day to try again. Don't give up. It's always worth trying again. Sometimes things don't work out the first time, and that's okay. I think when you're trying to grow and develop in a certain way, it's really important to track your progress. I like to keep an art journal where I set my goals and kind of keep track of certain dates. I think another important way that you can keep track of your progress is to date your drawings and paintings, even in your sketchbook. You can go back and see, okay, a year ago, this is how I was doing this, and compare. I also like to redraw the same subject like a year later or 6 months later and see how your style has changed and see what direction your growth is happening in, and compare it to what your ultimate goal is. I think that's really helpful as a benchmark for your growth. So I really recommend dating your paintings and keeping some type of art journal or notebook, or even just like notes app on your phone, something to keep your art goals written down. I actually like to do mine in the front of my sketchbook, but I also have a separate art journal. Remember that this is a process, and ultimately your art style will constantly grow and develop with you as a result of your experiences and skills. Remember to keep creating and enjoy the journey. Thank you so much for being here to talk with me about art style today. Please subscribe and check out my next video, which will be a sketchbook tour.